because, you know, it appears that we don't have a legal or statutory ability to influence this unless you guys are telling us differently. In other words, we have a town attorney and we rely on them for municipal advice. So what does that advice tell us at this point?
I guess I suggest two things. We can probably, if Public Service is unwilling to meet with you, and I haven't heard that yet, then we can try to establish a meeting between the residents and Public Service. I'm sure the Public Utilities Commission has some control or oversight over these types of projects. That's another venue you can speak with. That. And I don't want to seem like I don't want to help you, but we don't have any authority over this. New Hampshire is not a home rule state. We only have the authority which is delegated to us by the state of New Hampshire. And as far as regulating utilities, we have no authority over that whatsoever. Again, it's not. I don't want to seem like I don't have any concern about your issue, but they have an easement over land, and the state controls what projects they do within the state of New Hampshire, and we don't have control or authority over that.
Does the Environmental Commission of the City of Londonderry have control over protecting endangered species?
We do not have authority over the kind of activities they're going to do. If you want to look at that particular concern, you may want to call the State Department of Environmental Services.
I have already.
Okay.
I have already. They haven't even filed for their application with DES in Concord yet. Okay. When they do, an investigator will be assigned. When that information becomes available, I will know it. The investigator will make a report. Based on his findings, he will either have public comment on it or not. That's the way that's going to go. So we don't know how that's going to happen because they haven't even applied for their application yet.
I guess what I suggest is, sounds like the first thing you ought to try to do is sit down with the neighborhood and public service folks and get an understanding and present your concerns and your thoughts about alternatives to meet their goals.
Right. Well, we like I said, we haven't all sat down. It's going to be pretty hard to get a lot of people up on a day of business to go to Manchester and talk to PSNH. So I don't know how successful we are. I mean, these people were nice enough to come tonight, which is hard enough. We all have families and we have things to do. So a lot of people can't take time off from work in the middle of the day to go up to PSNH and have a meeting with them. I think that they should come to us. I think that they should come to a forum like this. Since this is such a large issue and it's going to affect so many people, I don't see why we should have to go to them. They're the ones coming into our neighborhood. They're the ones destroying property in our neighborhood, albeit on their easement.
I guess what I can suggest is if they're willing to meet with you in the community, we certainly can make space available in one of our buildings.
That would be great. We would appreciate that. We really would. I just, so you're basically telling us there's nothing you can do?
Beyond the limited restrictions we have regarding issuing pole permits, unfortunately, that's correct.
Okay, so the issues that I mentioned don't hold water. The safety issue with say the line falls and trapping people in the neighborhood or things like that, that doesn't hold water? I'm
not saying they don't hold water. I'm saying we don't have the authority to consider those. We don't have a process by which we can consider those and allow you to reach your objectives through that. We just don't have that authority in the state law.
Does anybody have that authority?
If you don't mind, Elizabeth, is it okay to call on you at this point? Elizabeth, we wrote her name down and she happened to magically walk into the room here or something. Elizabeth is with PSNH and I believe she lives in Londonderry and I believe she's a community relations manager. Mm-hmm. So I think we have the appropriate person here.
Nice to meet you.
Yes.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but it looked like you were here for a reason.
I am. We learned that Mr. Connell was going to come here this evening, and I just wanted to explain a little bit. It's premature for us to talk to the community, and we didn't send the letter certified mail, but we sent it out in March to 10 direct abutters, and we wanted them to be notified of what our plans were because we know that this type of thing is not pleasant. And what we're in the process of doing is doing our surveying. We don't even know the exact location of the 100-foot right-of-way. And so the surveyors are out there, and we've gone to Mr. Connell's home, and he has a number of concerns, and we're very sympathetic to him because we know he's probably going to be affected most or more than anybody. But that's why we haven't had our meetings. That's what I do. PSNH goes to the community. That's my job, and I'm happy to do it, and we do care. But if we had to debate our location of lines before 211 communities in the state of New Hampshire, we have a big problem on our hand delivering safe and reliable electricity. So we can't disclose all of the environmental or engineering studies that we've done. Going down that road would be a slippery slope and would be extremely costly. But I just wanted everyone to know, including the neighborhood and you folks, that as we move forward with this process and we get clarity, we know where that 100-foot right-of-way is, we'll talk to the neighborhoods, let them know, and we do hopefully we'll have some flexibility. But safety and reliability is what we're all about. So we would never put something up that would endanger anybody. And anyways, that's where we are with the process. We haven't delineated where the wetlands are. We haven't gone for any permitting. But we just told the neighbors first. So we hope they give us credit. We gave them first notice.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there anything, if you heard what they're asking us, the thing that pops into my head is there any next steps or time frames you could give these folks so that they have some expectation of what the future holds?
Sure. I was
project or discussion standpoint.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Jim Mayo, the project manager, is indicating that we're hopeful that the surveying will be done in a couple of weeks. And once the surveying is done, then we could stake out where the location will be. And at that point, we thought it would be efficient and smart to then have a meeting with folks. For instance, there have been 3 stakes that were out there near someone's. We didn't place them there. So, I mean, I think it's kind of unfortunate because people, are anxious, and so we want to get out there, but yet we don't know where the right-of-way is. So the process is a couple of weeks. We think we'll know where our boundaries are, and then we'll go talk to the community, and then we'll start delineating wetlands, and then we'll be asking for permits, and then our point or our thought was to do the tree clearing and brush removal sometime in '09. And then the line was, we're hopeful to get the new line up. It's a 2.5-mile line. Hope to get that energized by June of 2011. We did give that letter to just the 10 direct abutters, and now as I hear that neighbors, I'm wishing that we had given it to a bigger group of people, but
Okay.
we did what we did.
How would these folks, how would you reach out to these folks? Would they expect a letter, a phone call, a meeting advertisement? What's the expectation?
We typically send letters out to
Okay.
everyone, and we have the direct abutters.
Yeah.
We go to town hall and we get that information.
Yeah.
What I just gave my card at the beginning of the meeting to Mr. Connell,
Okay.
and also know one of the residents. So we'll just contact
Right,
these folks
and they could
before
give
I
you
leave.
all of the
and, yeah,
people
we'll set
that
it
should be
up,
notified.
and
Okay.
We'll get anybody that wants
Okay.
to come can come.
And just to fast forward, and I know they don't want to do that, but if it fast forwards down the process, what type of public hearing opportunities do they have, if any, either with you or with the PUC?
I don't really know.
Okay.
We've done in other locations, we've had some pretty tight corridors where we've built lines, one going up 3, for instance, and we went to the condo association clubhouse. We go to, if
Yeah.
there's a building, or
Yeah.
Dave is
'Cause
opening up.
Dave has offered.
If
so.
we've got a venue, we will go there where it's
Okay.
convenient and large enough. Be happy to come to
Yeah.
town.
It would be
Absolutely.
good to keep Dave in the loop on when you're at that point, and then if we have an available space, which we probably do, it would good for us to host it for these folks and for you.
Absolutely. That would be wonderful.
Okay. Questions from the, Paul, you had your hand up. Did it get answered?
It did, yeah.
Okay.
I had a quick question. I know it's probably a little bit premature and you might not be able to answer it, but once you establish what the 100-foot zone is this going to be a case of everything's going to be getting clear cut?
I I think it is going to be. That was our goal. Things have changed in our world. 2005, there was a massive blackout, and it didn't affect New Hampshire. We were lucky, but it affected a large enough